Today I want to talk about something I was going to make a video on a while ago. Zilla said he was going to make a video on it, but then he stopped making videos, and that is about the broken scaling of dual-wield heavy attacks and light attacks. Basically, it's completely useless, in my opinion, to do any sort of fully charged heavy attack or medium weave with dual wield, except for the resource recoveries and to proc things. And I want to go over why that is, and I just want to bring it to your guys' attention, so that way you know why I have not been using dual wield on most of my builds, because I just don't feel like it's really worth it anymore. So this all started in update 35 when Zenimax was like, oh, light attack weaving is like super overpowered and strong. And well, yeah, it's literally a spammable. In between your spammables, it's gonna be like at the top of your DPS numbers on parses and stuff. But they decided, hey, you know what, we're gonna reduce light attack damage by 26%, and we're also going to be reducing heavy attack damage by separate amounts, because we feel like this is completely and totally 100% very necessary for the sake of balance in this game, so no one has damage on their basic attacks anymore. Of course, there's far more to this story, but I want to focus in on the change that Zenimax made to dual-wield fully charged heavy attacks in the update 35 patch notes. They reduced the damage of fully charged heavy attacks on dual-wield by 28%, and that is still the value that we are stuck with today. And you want to know what happened in update 37? They buffed the damage of light attacks by 50%, and they capped it. You may be saying like, oh, they capped the damage. No. Okay, see, you need to understand that with this change, they also made it so that you need to reach a certain weapon or spell damage requirement in order to hit that damage cap, okay? And for PvE, it's right around 5,500 weapon and spell damage, which is not like normally super difficult to achieve. For PvP, you need about 7,500 weapon damage or spell damage in order to hit that cap, okay? And realistically, you're not going to be hitting those numbers unless you're running with like a group that has a bunch of weapon damage buffs that you just have for free, okay? And even then, okay, even then with all of those things considered, okay, say you're at the cap, right, and you have all these percentage damage, about your light attacks are still going to be hitting harder than your fully charged heavy attacks, even if you are at the cap value. I'm not even joking, okay? The problem begins with them buffing light attacks and not buffing heavy attacks, because now what happens in the game is whenever you go to do a fully charged heavy attack, you do less damage than your light attack. And that's only with dual wield. And it's incredibly dumb, because it makes no sense. I'm literally taking time to fully charge a heavy attack, and I'm getting less than I would if I were to just tap the light attack button instead. And it gets even more weird when you do medium weaving, because your medium weaves, right, they should be scaling up the longer that you fully charge, right? No, instead they scale down, okay? If you're medium weaving, you're gonna be doing less damage than your light attack, and you're not even gonna be getting resources back. So like, the only reason to medium weave is to proc things and stuff. Like, I don't get it. And you can kind of see why that's a problem for this game, when the entire core of doing a fully charged heavy attack is to do more damage and get some resources, okay? Not do less damage and get some resources, okay? It just does not make any sense to me, okay? The only way to get your heavy attacks to hit harder than your light attacks is to have Empower, and Empower doesn't even work in PvP, and like, even if you do, okay, even if we're talking in terms of PvE, it's like a very small and moderate increase in damage for your heavy attacks over your light attacks, and it's just still better and more worth it to do light attacks. And if this is still not enough for you somehow, okay, think about look at this, okay? You think one sword is going to hit harder than two? Yes. According to the game, yes. Two swords does not hit as hard as one sword, even though they're the same size, and there's two of them. Listen. What more do you want? You can stack. You can stack your percent damage modifiers. Oh, those also apply to your light attacks. The only way, the literal only way, is with Empower. Okay. What your light attacks get, your heavy attacks get. Okay. And you're telling me you're in the I have 1,500 weapon damage gang, and that's why my heavy attacks hit harder than my light. No. Stop. I believe this was a developer oversight, because I can see how you could get lost in forgetting that you did this to dual-wield heavy attacks in update 35, but also at the same time, it's just kind of dumb that it's a thing that we're dealing with right now. No one has really said anything about it. I guess a lot of people just don't seem to notice it, but, you know, in the core sense of the game, it does not make any sense, and basically, I think, you know, dual-wield heavy attacks also need to get buffed by 50%, so that way it can, you know, be in the place it should be, okay? I know Zenimax is afraid to do that because something like the Nighthawk could come back, but you already eliminated the problem by making Empower only work against monsters. So builds like that, they're not going to be a problem anymore because you took Empower out of PvP. So I would just like my dual wield heavy attacks to feel a little bit more impactful instead of just always opting to go for a 2H instead of dual wield as my primary choice. I know dual wield can give you extra damage to things that are off balance in your skills and all that, but for me, as someone that does a lot of medium weaving and heavy attacking, I'm still sticking with two-handed more often than not because dual wield just doesn't give me the value that I'm looking for with my medium weaves and my heavies. And the only time I'm ever really using dual wield is with the Master's dual wield, and we all know about that by now, or at least we should, so I'm just gonna leave that aside. And yeah, hopefully you guys are a little bit more aware of this, so that way, you know why your heavy attacks on dual wield have been feeling a little awkward. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments, so please do leave a comments about it, and also consider liking and subscribing and joining the channel members and supporting my strange internet endeavors and all the strange things I do on the internet by yes, look, there you go. Yeah, I gotta go eat food. I'm hungry, so I guess have a good night.